Alright everybody, welcome back to Mamaw's Kitchen, where Mamaw's going to make our favorite family recipes. Take it away, Mamaw.
Alright, today we're going to do ginger cookies. I actually most of the time call them molasses cookies when I'm making them for grandkids. This recipe came from my Aunt Georgia, probably almost 40 years ago. I tried them right after I was a newlywed and grabbed that recipe, and I've been making it ever since. It's one of my favorites in the fall and Christmas, and I don't think there's much better than one of these cookies and a cup of coffee in the morning. So we'll start with this. Grandbabies, I know you guys love this cookie, so we're going to make it, and I think Uncle Clinton will eat a few for you and enjoy them for you. So we're going to start with our softened butter. We're going to cream the butter and the sugar, and a lot of times I like to cut the butter into little pieces. I think it creams a little bit quicker if it's not that great big chunk. So I'm going to cut that little tiny pieces, and we're going to, made a mess. All right, we're going to drop it down in there. You can see how soft it is. That's all right. I like it to be nice and soft. It goes in a little bit easier and creams a little quicker. And we'll get it in here with this sugar. I hope the mixer doesn't drive y'all crazy with the sound, but we're going to have to do a lot of mixing with this recipe. One of the things for me to remind you, I seldom make a cookie that I don't double a recipe, but this recipe calls for 4 cups of flour, and if I double this particular recipe, the mixer can't handle it. So don't double this recipe. It just won't work. Make a second batch later if you really feel like you need to, but it makes a ton of cookies. So, all right, we're going to get started. We're going to start with the butter. All right, babies, can you see how the butter is nice and soft and there's no chunks in it? This is where we're going to start adding the sugar and cream the sugar in with that butter. And this helps to make the cookies the texture that we're after, okay? So we're going to do 2 cups of sugar. 1, and there's 2. And then see how the butter is like separated right now from the sugar? In a little bit, it's all going to be one beautiful, smooth texture, and that's what we're looking for. So I'm going to raise the speed up just a little bit and let the mixer do the work. It's all creamed together. It's actually all pulled away from the sides by itself because I had the softened butter, which is really nice. So that lets me know that it's ready to start adding the next ingredients. We're going to add 2 eggs and 1/2 cup of molasses. We're going to start with these eggs. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this in this little cup. That catches me if I happen to make a mistake and drop one of those shells in there accidentally. It'll happen once in a while. I'm going to do these one at a time. Woo! Smack that one hard. All right, got that. It looks great. All right, now y'all know Mama always washes my hands after I touch eggs because it grosses me out. But give me just a second, I'll wash my hands. All right, we're going to do a little trick. We're going to do molasses. I'm going to spray just a little bit of the cooking spray into the cup. Not a lot, just a little. But what that's going to do is it's going to keep that molasses from sticking so much to the cup. And this is blackstrap molasses. It's some of the best I've found so far. I really like this product. All right, we're at the top of that, all the way to the rim. Don't be skimpy. Then we're going to pour that in there. Now, if you haven't worked with blackstrap molasses before, it's sticky, y'all. It is ridiculous trying to get it out of this cup. And look what that did. See what that spray did? It's just rolling right out of there. So once in a while, you'll learn a few tricks. And when you learn them, pass them on because this is a good one. All right, we're gonna let this mix a little bit. Now, one of the things I love doing cooking with grandkids because I love to show them all the different colors and how the textures mix in. But look at this now with this molasses in there. Isn't that the most beautiful color ever? It's part of the fun of cooking. Ready for dry ingredients. Now, when you're making cookies, dry ingredients go in one bowl, and then you add the dry ingredients to the cookies. Part of the reason that I do that is my experience was if I added all the baking soda and all the dry ingredients separately, that I had these big cakey cookies, which are not my favorite. So I started doing everything in a separate bowl and adding it in, and that's what we're going to do now. And it will make the cookies chewy, and they'll not be that great big thick cookie. All right, 4 cups of flour. And y'all know my trick. I don't scrape, I shake. And I do not pack it down. It's shake from side to side, but not packed. Okay? And 4 cups of flour, 4 teaspoons of soda. Now this I do scrape off, so there, we're going to scrape it off level. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. And it's always pink salt. And then 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. The smells in this, y'all, this is so good. All right, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Now it's 1 to 2 teaspoons of ginger in the recipe, and I do too. I like ginger, and I like the flavor in there. So, smells so good. And then 1 teaspoon of cloves. This is the last of it. We're gonna now remember this bread whisk that Uncle Clinton found for me. I'm going to pull it out and use it to make sure all of the flavors and all of the leavener, all of that is going to just be mixed in all at once in the dry part. Then when I start putting it into the mixer, I won't have any clumps. And this thing is just so fun to use. Okay, so we've got that. Now we're going to just start doing a little bit at a time. We're going to add this to the wet mixture. We don't want it going too fast, and we don't want to add too much at once. So let it incorporate, and then we'll do it again. Okay? A little bit at a time. Baking takes patience. You can already smell all of that. It smells so good. See how sticky it is again? So it's ready to go in. I should probably do it a little slower than what I did, but we'll see. Can you hear it starting to labor now? That's why I don't double this recipe, because the mixer, it just will labor at this. It's just a heavier dough, I guess. You can do it. It's poofing up everywhere. Don't quit, don't quit. A little bit more, just a little. I'm gonna dump this in from the side. There we go. All right, that's all of it. That mixer is like, this is all I can stand. All right. Isn't that pretty? All right, I'm gonna clean up my counter just a little bit and show you the next step. Cleaned the area up, got everything ready. We're gonna scrape the dough off of the beater, and then I'm gonna scrape the sides down and just make sure all that extra little bit of flour that the mixer was laboring so hard, I just wanted to turn it off. It's just such a thick dough that it was about all it could handle. So now I'm just going to scrape these sides down. See how there's just still a little bit of flour? We're just going to go around, scrape it all down and get it all in there together. I want the consistency of the cookies to be the same all the way through. I don't want some to be too thick and some to be too thin. So we're just going to stir it a little bit by hand and just get it all mixed so it's all the same consistency. All right, so now at home, I have a cookie scoop that's a small cookie scoop. Here at the little house, I don't. So we're going to use a couple of the plastic spoons. We're going to just get a small amount of dough. We're going to drop it in some sugar. And then I'm using my fingers. Y'all know Mama cooks with her fingers, okay? So roll it in the sugar and then set it down. Now these baking sheets that go onto the baking pans keep the cookies from sticking. One of my favorite things about them. Silicone baking sheets, and they are awesome. All right. This is a small pan. Typically we use a bigger one, of course, with the bigger oven, but the small pan fits in this little oven, so that's what we're going to use. And this is time consuming too. What did I tell you? All right, since I don't have the cookie scoop, I'm trying to get my shapes somewhat consistent, so I'm going to just tap them just a little bit and try to get the shapes consistent. I am not mushing these down. These are not like a peanut butter cookie where you have to do the fork pattern in it and mash them down so that they're flat. These will actually cook themselves into the correct shape. So we're going to stick these in a 350-degree oven. In 5 minutes we'll rotate, and then in 5 minutes we'll pull out. At least that's what my oven does. This is a small oven, and so 10 minutes is perfect to get the right texture. So put them in, pull them out, and in 10 minutes, and you can see what they look like. All right. Look at that. Those look good. All right, we're going to get these off. Look at these. They're amazing. All right. I like to put cookies on newspaper. I know a lot of folks probably will not like that thought, but I prefer it over tin foil. I think it does a better job at letting the cookies cool and not get moist on the bottom. So I use newspaper, and these are already doing exactly what I told you they'd do. They are leveling out. They're not thick. They're going to be really nice and chewy, and it's a thing of beauty.